Hey, my name is Deborah Winters. Welcome to my YouTube channel, a place where you will hear conversations with ordinary people telling their extraordinary stories. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Their Stories. My guest today is Ray Winterhalt. That's a mouthful, Winterhalt.
Raymond Broderick Winterhalt, imagine.
Raymond Broderick?
Yes. Yeah.
That's your given middle name, Broderick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I love it. Is it a family name? Where did your mom come up with Broderick?
From what she says, it means son of Roderick, which is my father's name. So Roderick.
Oh,
yeah.
I love your mother. She's sweet.
Me too.
We're recording now, so you love her as well, right?
Yes.
She's amazing, amazing, and I met you through your mother.
Yep.
I have not heard Ray's story, so this is going to be fresh and new to all of us. So let's just jump in, Ray. We go to the same church, and Ray actually leads a prayer group on Sunday afternoons.
5 to 6.
5 to 6.
Right.
So if you're interested afterwards, contact Ray through the church for his prayer group. I co-lead a prayer and you lead a prayer. So Ray's been to a couple of my prayer groups on Thursday, which is always good to have men because women are typically the ones that show up for prayer.
Yeah.
So it's always good to see men out.
We need more guys praying.
We need more guys. We need more men.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So you are originally from Upper New York?
Yeah, Syracuse.
So let's just talk a little. Syracuse. Cold. I mean, you went from one extreme to the other, right?
Yeah.
So let's just jump right in and you talk a little bit about what that looked like.
Yeah, so born and raised in Syracuse, New York. I still love snow.
I like to look at it and I like to visit places that have snow.
Yes.
But
that's where I'm at now, too.
I don't want to go live in it.
No, not anymore. We're past that point in life.
Yes, we are.
So that's where I'm from. Went to high school there. Grew up in the church. I was Pentecostal,
really?
Non-denominational type of feeling church. Type of feeling church, you know.
Come in, lean in.
Yes.
Lean there.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was to add the picture frame. Go ahead.
I would say definitely not exactly like Family Worship Center, but there were similarities.
Okay.
That's where a lot my first experience like with the Lord really kind of took off.
Now, how old were you?
I was probably I would say I was saved probably when I was like 5, but came into like my own relationship and walk with the Lord probably when I was in high school. So like 8th, 9th grade. That's when I really and made connections and friends that were also other believers. And so that was, I found a community. Relationships of other believers. And so from there, I graduated in high school in 2011, and then I went to...
He's young.
29, yeah. I went to Oral Roberts University my freshman year of college.
Okay.
And that was... It wasn't a terrible experience. I just... I knew I was called someplace else. Okay. So I went back to New York for a little bit. Went to a community college there. So that was my sophomore year. And then the second half of my sophomore year, I came down to Florida. And what caused that to happen? The Disney College program, actually.
Disney College program. Didn't know they had a college program.
Yeah, college program and a professional internship program, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty fun, the college program.
Did you have to be in arts or entertainment to come for the...
No, but for what I went to school for film production.
Did not know that. And here we are recording on my little iPhone, and he's in...
Great quality camera. So I did that, and I was a character performer in the parks, actually.
You were?
I was.
So what character?
Pluto.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear.
I did not have any idea that
it was fun. It was a fun from January to August of 2013. It was just a great experience.
Was it hot?
Yes, very much so.
Now, did you guys? I heard stories that there was a little ventilation system underneath those costumes.
Nope.
Oh wow.
No, it's very much so. Just if you're it's a walking carpet, really. That's
it is. Oof. Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
hot.
But you enjoyed it. You had fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that was a part of your schooling, was to be in the character.
So I was also taking classes through like Disney's Leadership Institute.
Okay.
Or Disney's Institute. I forget what exactly the name is. But I was taking college level classes for credit while I was working at the parks.
Okay.
So that was fun. Yeah. And so that brought me down to Florida. That's how I got here. And after that, I transferred to Southeastern University.
So you were a Christian and living for Jesus all that time through Disney. What was that like? Did you come in contact with other young people that were Christians, or?
Yeah, so there was Campus Crusade for Christ was there on the.
I'm sorry.
Not necessarily. I don't know if they were like could affiliate themselves with Disney. Like I don't think that's how.
So when you said they were there, what does that mean?
I meant there was like a network,
a presence.
There was like a networking system
on Disney property or within the schools within that institute.
Well,
this is so interesting.
Yeah. So a gentleman had, I believe he was not a recruiter, but kind of a representative for a crew, Campus Crusade.
Okay.
And I think he would just, I'm not sure how he did it, but they kind of formed a network of like different college students that were working there at the time.
One way to infiltrate the system, basically.
Yeah. So I don't know if we can say that, but I did.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So it would
be good.
Yeah, and so there was that group of friends, and obviously, working for Disney, it's not always what you would call a Christian environment.
Right. Was it hard?
Not really, because
there wasn't a lot of temptation.
Here's the thing. I live by myself.
Okay.
And that was part of it because I have an allergy to peanuts. So
allergy to peanuts. Okay.
So I ended up they ended up giving me a apartment to myself. So it was pretty cool. I think there's always temptation wherever you go. I think when I say God protected me from any of that kind of stuff, it was very much so. For some reason, I just wasn't around it, which is weird because it's literally everywhere. Whether it's alcohol, or mainly alcohol or sex or anything like that at that age. I would have been.
But you were just kind of in a bubble.
I guess so. Yeah, I was kind of just did my own thing. Went to work, came home, enjoyed the parks, hung out with friends individually here and there, and never really got into too much trouble, thankfully. So,
So now, how long were you there, and then before Southeastern?
So I was there from January to August of 2013.
So was it not a year plan? It was just an 8-month plan.
Yeah. So you can. If I remember correctly, you could extend your internship, and I extended mine an extra few months. So,
wow. But
after that, it was like, all right, you have to go on to the next thing. You have to finish schooling or transition into like a full-time employee at Disney.
Okay.
And I knew I wanted to go. I had quite a few people that I knew that stayed performers, or did any number of roles in the parks, but I chose to go. I chose to go back to school. So.
I know that. Disney's there's been on the news regarding the recent ruling with Governor DeSantis, and I had heard rumors that there is actually a strong presence of Christians within Disney.
Yeah, I would.
So it's good to know.
Yeah, I would say they're
that's most
wonderful. Likely is.
Yeah.
There's people praying.
People praying
for that.
Okay, so moving on. So you decided to go to Southeastern.
Yes, so I went to SCU in 2013.
Southeastern University here in Lakeland. We're in Lakeland,
Florida.
Yes.
Yep. And so I went to Southeastern. Met lifelong friends. I think that experience at Southeastern was one of the best.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you graduate?
I did. I graduated in 2015.
Okay.
But yeah, even. So I was an RA my second year there.
So tell them what an RA is.
So an RA is a resident assistant, and like I said, I formed some lifelong relationships. Jaquan Floyd was on my hall.
Jaquan, we love you, Jaquan.
Yes.
Jaquan and I sing on the worship team at Family Worship Center. He's amazing.
Yeah, so he was on my hall, and I was an RA, and that's how we met.
So RA, he was an RD. resident director, right?
Yeah, so that's a few years down the road, though, from where I'm talking about right now. Yeah. So, like...
so we're not current time.
This is 2015.
Oh, so you met Jaquan then?
Yeah, I've known Jaquan for years.
Oh, okay.
For a long time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, did that, and then...
when you're a RA, they give you... provide housing for you?
The scholarship is is equivalent to what
they give you a scholarship.
Yes, yeah.
So if you are an RA, you get a scholarship.
Yes, correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what was your class rating then? Was it freshman, sophomore? What were you when you went into Southeastern?
Yeah, I guess I technically would have been like a junior.
Okay.
So
you went in as an RA?
No, because it was my first year at the school, and usually first year students aren't in Res Life because they hire like the spring semester for the coming fall.
Okay.
Yeah, but
just wanted some clarity on where we were in that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah, I would say like end of my sophomore year, junior year, credits can get mixed up.
Yes, okay.
But yeah, so there, loved Southeastern. Like I said, made lifelong friendships. Go SCU, go Fire. Like, yeah. It's a shameless plug there.
This is a platform for you just to promote if you want to.
Southeastern is very near and dear to my heart. But yeah, so... And I studied film production while I was there.
Even there?
Yes.
Southeastern?
Yeah, that was, yes. So,
your mom did not tell me all of this. Go ahead.
No, yeah. So, film production at Southeastern, which led to, and the initial intent behind that, even when I first became a student at Southeastern, was I knew they had an internship program with LAFSC, which is Los Angeles Film Study Center.
Okay.
At the time. And
was that the end goal?
That was the end goal. I wanted to go out to Los Angeles.
Okay.
I had actually, what started that, I had been on a missions trip with my youth group in high school, I think my senior year. And I was like, I loved Los Angeles. And so...
really?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay.
Loved that city, loved California.
Now, is that where the Dream Center is?
And that's where we were. That's where we went.
You were for Matthew?
Yes.
Barnett?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Los Angeles Dream Center. Yeah, that's where we stayed for that week in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so did that and knew I wanted to go back out to LA, and so film seemed like the natural...
And that is the film capital of the world, right?
Yeah, yep. So I went out there, and so how did it work? So spring semester,
you graduated at SCU.
No, I hadn't officially graduated yet, because my final semester was spent in LA in Los Angeles in 2015. So that would have been the fall semester of 2015.
Okay.
So I went out there and I spent the final semester out there. Fell in love with LA, loved it. Came back for a month or two, graduated.
So was that considered an internship?
It was considered an internship.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I had no idea. Okay.
And I interned at where did I intern? Skydance Productions, and they did the last few Mission Impossible movies, and
really,
like the Terminator. Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't have a big role by any means, but
you got the exposure,
got the experience. Yeah, it was good. And then Alcon Entertainment as well. They were the production company for the movie The Blind Side. So that was it was really
amazing movie.
Yeah, love it. So did that, and then my first job / I guess final internship really. It was a paid internship once again through Disney. Professional internship program, and I worked in the Disney. I was a production.
Were you at Disneyland in LA?
No, I was at the studios in Burbank, California. That's, like the original studios that Walt Disney would have founded with his brother Roy. So worked there and got to see kind of the business side of film, the production side, what it takes, all the intricate details, what it takes to make a movie. So did that for I think it was about 6 months. Then once again the internship ended, and then what? Okay, so then I realized I'm trying to how did it all happen?
All work? Yeah.
So I was living in Burbank at the time, and I was going to Zoe L.A., which is Chad. I don't know if you're familiar with Chad Veach.
I'm not.
But I went to...
Is he a pastor?
He is.
Okay.
And his church is called Zoe.
Okay.
And
how do you spell that?
Zoe.
Oh, okay. Zoe.
It's like... What's the little thing above the E?
Apostrophe? I don't know. Accent thing?
Yeah. It's some accent thing. I don't know if it's Zoe or Zoe, to be honest.
Okay.
I went there for 2 years, and I'm still not sure. But I like saying Zoe.
2 years. You were there 2 years. Okay.
And that's how long I lived in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So did that.
And that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good thing. And so I was blessed, honestly blessed my entire time in LA. After I finished at Disney, I went and I worked as a manager at a YMCA.
You left the film business.
Yeah, I don't know, it just didn't satisfy, I guess.
Okay, so you determined that wasn't what you want to do for the rest of your life?
No. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
At least you experienced it, and you could come to a conclusion, this is not what I want to do.
Right.
Okay.
And maybe God has, I truly believe that somehow it will come back into play.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the Lord has.
Yes.
So
I love this,
that was, But so anyways, manager at YMCA, and then I also worked with a organization called Red Eye. That was more of just kind of like volunteer and serving, but I spent a lot of time so Red Eye is a youth mentoring program in Compton and Watts, so in kind of South Central LA.
Okay.
Mostly Watts, I believe.
Okay.
And so I spent most of my Saturdays and any time during the week I would kind of assist and help out there. But yeah.
Got it.
It was a blessing. I loved that brought me joy. That filled me. So those were the moments that I really cherished. Zoe and probably Red Eye were the highlights of my time in LA. And so, did that for 2 years. And then I decided I wanted to go to law school. And so
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I started studying for the LSAT, and I did that for...
We don't know what LSAT is.
Okay, the law school admissions test. So the LSAT. But I knew because the cost of living is so high in Los Angeles, and I think any really major city, the cost of living is going to be extremely high, even more so now. I wanted to be able to focus, so I went back home to New York, Syracuse, New York. So I was living at home and working part-time and studying for the LSAT. I was during that year, the 2017 to 2018 year, I was a garbage man. So
You mean like sanitation guy that rides on that truck and picks up trash?
No, I should say for the that would have been cool, actually. That would have been probably
just trying to get a picture.
No. I lived in an apartment complex, and I worked for the apartment complex that I lived in.
Okay.
And all the trash would be collected downstairs, and so we would go collect the trash and bring it out to the dumpster.
Okay.
And then it was also like lawn maintenance and stuff like that, kind of just general like maintenance stuff.
Gotcha.
So did that for a year through the heat and the cold,
and all this time studying for your LSAT.
For the LSAT, yeah.
I'm just trying to figure this out. So there was film, and then that took you to want to be an attorney.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any rhyme or reason to it. It's not. Don't spend too much time trying to figure it out. It's more of like,
why not?
Yeah. It was like that's what I felt, and I think there's always been some desire for public service. Really,
okay. All right.
And I think that kind of is where it all meshes.
What did you
together.
envision being an attorney? Would you take cases and go to trial, go to court? Sure.
Well, I actually looked at it as more of a stepping stone, because there's so many different areas in the law that you can study. Right? You might not even be necessary.
You could be a corporate attorney, just sit in an office and study law and write.
Yeah. I've always, since I was a kid, I wanted to go into politics. And so my what the Lord did was kind of bring me down different paths, I think, to get me to where...
Oh, he does that.
Yeah.
We don't... we don't know all the ins and out, but me sitting here having a conversation with you, I can look back over the years and see how God was, he just takes a gem and then, not that I'm a gem, but you think about pearl, how they are buffed and smooth, that stone, to develop you into what he ultimately wants you to do. And that's, I mean, I've asked questions my whole life. And my daddy, you know, I would annoy my daddy asking so many, and my mother asking so many questions. And he said, you need to be an attorney, you asking me questions. But I just am interested in people's lives and their stories. So here I am today. I mean, and just meeting people, and my job was sales. And I always conversing, always meeting people, always in the public, and you're always working on different skill sets, I guess would be for the ultimate, the end game, right? Go back to
no, and that's the thing. If I could give advice for a second to any young person out there, don't limit yourself to one thing either. Like if you something's put on your heart and you know it's not a bad thing, you know it's not like wicked,
it's a good thing,
you know it's a good thing, it's from the Lord, then go for it, because he'll direct your path. So if there's multiple things that you want,
there may be different roads, different paths to get there, right?
Right, but it doesn't, I mean, even if you go to university like for 4 years, God might say, okay, I had you doing that for this reason, but now I need you to do that, and someday it'll come into play again, but for now, this is what you're going to do.
And the good news is you could do all of those different, I mean, all those different paths you took.
Right. It's just, it was a real trusting in the Lord experience. That's what life is, really, just trusting in the Lord.
Yes, it is.
That's all it is.
Wow, so you were...
So I should, actually, I'm sorry, let me back up really quick.
Please.
I should say, let me back up to...
This is easy.
2016, while I was still working in Los Angeles, I thought, even before I decided law school, like I said, once again, I always had the desire to serve, like go into, communities or go into politics. And I tried to enlist in the United States Army.
You did?
2016. But because of my allergy to peanuts, they told me I could not. So you actually can't join any branch of the military.
If you have an allergy.
That's what I was told. Yep, you're allergic to peanuts, so.
That is amazing. Yep. So that door closed. And so you're in Syracuse, and you're working for the apartment complex.
Fast forward to Syracuse, right? Now I'm in doing that. In the summer of 2018 now, I'm up to 2018 at this point, right?
You're really good with these years. This is good that you can track that.
Yeah, it's just kind of, I guess just God built my mind.
Yeah.
I just kind of, I can tell you where I was during my life. And I think it's because of the specific things that happened. I was never really, for the past 12 years now, I've never been in the same place for an extended period of time until now.
Wow.
So I was studying for the LSAT, and I took it, didn't like the score I got in it, so I planned on taking it again, but in the meantime, I came down back to Lakeland for a friend's wedding. And
when was that?
2018.
Okay.
So summer of 2018.
Okay.
And it was a buddy who was also on my hall when I was an RA, so, right? Back a few years. And so it's amazing how God uses those relationships. So he was getting married. I was in the wedding. And so we had the wedding, we had the festivities, and then I stayed for a few days in Lakeland with my friend Ethan Kador.
Okay.
Who is he was an RD at Southeastern.
Okay.
He was a resident director at Southeastern. And I met a few different people, but one person in particular said, Ray, I feel like you should apply for this open position as a resident director. I had no intention of coming back down to Florida. I was looking for ways to go back out to LA,
that was your end game.
Yeah, that was the end game then. And I was like, I don't know, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. And so I interviewed for a position as an RD, and I got the position. So it was...
So, if you accept that position, are you also enrolled in school? Do you need to be enrolled in school?
No, because a resident director is a staff position at the university.
Okay.
And RA is the resident assistant. They work under the resident director.
All right. And that's when you're RD, you get a nice apartment and you get space.
Yes. Yeah,
that's amazing.
It was a blessing. So within I think maybe a 3-week time period, I packed up my life in New York. And
your mom was there and you left your mom and said, I'm going to Florida.
Going to Florida. So moved back down.
Forget studying for the
because
exam.
That was the thing too, right? If I had continued on that path, probably at that time would have been some student debt. And if I had gone to law school, I go to Southeastern, I can get a master's degree.
Do they pay for is it free?
It's free.
Not they pay for it.
It's free. Yes. So after you've worked there for a year, and this is what was at least the policy when I was there, you work there for a year, you can then get a master's degree. Or take any classes.
You can work towards a master's degree.
Yeah, you can get another bachelor's if you want to. But so. And I did that. I did that actually just 2 weeks ago. Finished my master's program.
You did?
Yeah. So
yes. And what is your?
It was it's a master's in leadership and organizational leadership. So, yeah.
So you were an RD for how long?
So 4 years. 4 years. 2018 and 2022, and I just
RD
finished.
is you're always handling those kids and all their issues.
Probably the closest position because you live in the dorm. With an apartment that's attached to the dormitory.
Yes.
So, that was a great experience. God really molded me and formed me, and I think really solidified. Those 4 years were probably the most transformative years of my life. I have to say,
really?
As a resident director, being back here in Lakeland, that was, I think God worked a few things in me, and removed some things that didn't need to be there.
So good.
Yeah, because I was working with young people, and to be able to pour out to the level that is needed, especially at Christ-centered university,
right?
You have to be filled with Christ. So
you have to be real.
You have to be real
because they know, they see, they watch you, right?
Yes. And so one of those things was. And kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but so all the story, right? Everything that I've said thus far, the backdrop is to having a real issue with pornography.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that on camera. So
is that okay? Can I talk about it on camera?
Yes.
I have no problem talking about it.
We want to hear all of it. So I mean, not all of it, but
sure.
We want to know when did that start? What happened? What led you down that path?
Yeah, I think having been through that struggle, and then also now working with younger men and women. It's not it's not just men. It's women as well. Studies are showing more and more so. But that was kind of everybody's story is there's a similar start to it, right? You saw something that caught your eye. It probably wasn't pornography initially, but something caught your eye, you got curious, you looked, and you didn't stop looking.
And you just kept going down that path.
Down.
I don't know if you and I talked off camera, or if you guys know that you were from a single parent home.
Single parent home.
And your father was not in your life.
No, he was not.
Were there any strong male figures in your life that were godly?
Yes, I would say that there were. Not. And because there are quite a few who've been a blessing to me, but it wasn't like a consistent person over the years. I think God put different people at different seasons of my life,
right?
So that I could see this is what it looks like to have a family. This is what it looks like to be married. This is what it looks like to have struggled with something and come out of it,
right?
Strategic people for strategic times.
Yes.
I guess.
So when do you remember the first time you crossed over into pornography, or what led? How old were you?
I was probably maybe 13 or 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, and it was a struggle that lasted for years.
Years. There was a strong bondage for years.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So did you dabble in and out of that? for many years.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say.
And you were loving Jesus.
Yes.
The whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want them to know that.
Oh, yeah. And that never, like, my love for Christ never changed. It was just kind of like, I think there's a process that people go through when it comes to that. I call it a struggle. Some would say addiction, for sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly what the science says at this point on that.
So we're going to stop because we're almost at 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And
sorry.
I know.
Yeah.
And so you need to come back and hear. This is really good because now you've heard where we are today now for the backstory.
Right.
So we're going to jump into that and find out what that path looked like to bring you out of that.
Absolutely.
So you need to come back next week to hear how you got free from pornography because there's hope.
There is.
I mean,
there is, and that's even the best story.
Yes,
so,
hope.
Yeah, hope.
And look where he's leading a prayer group at church and loves Jesus. So.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ray. This has been so awesome. So we want you to come back next week. I hope you've learned something today, and we look forward to next week. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.